Chicago Jazz Live, small group jazz from the city of big shoulders. Performances drawn from Chicago's deep pool of extraordinary jazz talent in an intimate setting. It's a house concert in a club, and I'm your host, Steve Rashid. Most episodes of Chicago Jazz Live are live on tape. In other words, they were live performances in front of an audience, recorded, and then later broadcast to the radio. Well, tonight is different for a couple of reasons. First of all, other than our crew, there is no live audience. And secondly, as you are hearing this, I am on stage in Studio 5, actually live. Luckily for all of us, I'm joined by our guests for the evening, the Petra Van Nuis Quartet. We haven't yet brought live audiences back to Studio 5, so we wanted to bring Studio 5 actually live to you. We're thrilled you're listening to us live on the radio, and we appreciate the support you give to our host station, WDCB. WDCB, Chicago's radio home for jazz, provides the means through which our particular programming here at Studio 5 receives a wider voice on this show, Chicago Jazz Live, so thank you to WDCB. By the way, you're also able to watch this show online right now. Details for that, for how you can see us right now, can be found at studio5.dance/live. Again, that's studio5.dance/live. Our online viewers can interact with us, leave comments and questions via a chat room, and they'll have access to a second online-only set by the Petra Van Nuis Quartet once the radio program is over. We'd like to quickly thank the folks at Manassian Rug Company at 1244 Chicago Avenue in Evanston for providing rugs for our Studio 5 stage. Details available there at manassian.com. Well, let's talk about this evening. Vocalist Petra Van Nuis has been a friend of ours for many years, and she always impresses us not only with her beautiful voice, but her deep and broad knowledge of the Great American Songbook, particularly wonderful and obscure tunes. I always find that I learn tunes from Petra every time she performs. Pianist Dennis Luxian is a pianist's pianist. He's highly regarded in Chicago and beyond. Dennis was Chet Baker's pianist in the 1980s, touring extensively with him in Europe. And rounding out the group tonight is a very tasty rhythm section of Doug Hayes on the bass and Bob Rummage on the drums. So let's get to it. I'm going to come back later in the hour to talk with our artists, but right now I'm delighted to turn it over to the Petra Van Nuis Quartet on stage at Studio 5 in Evanston, Illinois for Chicago Jazz Live.
Thank you, Steve. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it an earthquake or simply a shock? Is it the good turtle soup or merely the mock? Is it a cocktail, this feeling of joy? Or is what I feel the real McCoy? Is it for all time or simply a lark? Is that granite I see or only Asbury pie? Is it a fancy and not worth thinking of? Or is it at long, is it at long last love? Is it an earthquake or simply a shock? Is it the good turtle soup or is it merely the mock? Is it a cocktail and this feeling of joy? Or is what I feel the real McCoy? Is it for all time? Is it simply a lark? Is that granite I see or only Asbury pie? Is it a fancy not worth thinking of? Or is it at long? Is it at long last love? Is it an earthquake? Or is it a shock? Is it the good turtle soup? Or is it merely the mock? Is it a cocktail? This feeling of joy, or is what I feel the real McCoy? Is it for all time, or simply a lark? Is that granite I see, or only Asbury Park? Is it a fancy not worth thinking of, or is it at long? Is it at long? Is it at long? Is it at long and long last love? All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you out there. We're so happy to be here with you this evening. Trust me, we're very happy to be here with you this evening. We really miss playing together, and we miss playing for people. And even if we're just now going virtually to you, we know you're there on the other side, and we know you're there on WDCB, our favorite radio station. We'd like to thank Steve especially for making this all possible. All his technical prowess has really created something marvelous here. And we'd like to thank Doug for the camera work, and we'd like to thank Sam for the audio work. And that was, At Long Last Love, Cole Porter. And we'd like to now do a tune called Hey There. This is a song from the musical The Pajama Game. And it's a song sung to oneself in the mirror in the show. It's a song of advice to yourself. I give myself advice sometimes, but I very seldom follow it. But this is a tune that... in the movie, Doris Day sang this, and also I know Rosemary Clooney had a big hit on this, and my very favorite singer, Peggy Lee, recorded this in a Latin style on her Latin a la Lee album. So we're going to do it Latin a la Petra. Hey there, you with the stars in your eyes. Love never made a fool of you. You used to be too wise. Hey there, you on that high flying cloud. Though he won't throw a crumb to you, you think someday you'll come to. You better forget him. Him with his nose in the air. He has you dancing on a string. Break it, and he won't care. Won't you take this advice? I hand you like a mother, or are you not? Seeing things too clear, are you too much in love to hear? Is it all going in one ear and out the other? Hey there, you with the stars in your eyes. Love never made a fool of you. You used to be too wise. Hey there, you on that high-flying cloud. Though he won't throw a crumb to you, you think someday he'll come to you. Better forget him, with his nose in the air. He has you dancing on a string. Break it, and he won't care. Won't you take this advice I hand you like a mother? Or are you not seeing things too clear? Too much in love to hear? Is it all going in one ear and out the other? Hey there, hey there, hey there, you with the stars in your eyes. Yeah. Wow, this is fun. Hey, it's nice to even play for 3 people. This is great. I've been doing a lot of live streams with my husband, Andy Brown, and there's nobody except for, well, there's our neighbor across the hedge, Marty Brown. He always has kind of a snarky comment. But other than that, we have tonight 3 listeners. This is great. In addition to all of you out there, we like to do a tune that is from the revival of the musical Showboat. This was the last song that Jerome Kern ever wrote, and he went out swinging. This is called Nobody Else But Me. I want to be no one but me. I'm in love with love who likes me the way I am. I have my faults, he likes my faults. I'm not very bright, he's not very bright, but he thinks I'm grand, that's grand for me. He may be wrong, but if we get along, what do we care? Say we. When he holds me close as we can be, I'll tell that lad that I'm grateful and I'm glad that I'm nobody else but me. I want to be no one but me. I'm in love with love who likes me the way I am. I have my faults, he digs my faults. I'm not very bright, he's not very bright, but he thinks I'm grand. That's so grand for me. I get a thrill going, he gets a thrill when I sit on his knee, walking on the shore or swimming in the sea. I tell that lad that I'm grateful and I'm glad that I'm nobody else but me. my fault. I'm not very bright, he's not very bright. He thinks I'm grand, and that's so grand for me. I get a thrill knowing he gets a thrill when I sit on his knee. Walking on the shore and swimming in the sea. I will tell that lad that I'm grateful and I'm glad that I'm nobody else but nobody else but me. Yeah. Nobody else but me. You do you. Do yourself. You'll be happier that way. I've found that. Thank you. Steve understands my sense of humor. Thank you, Steve.
You're very welcome.
So we'd now like to do a tune, a very wonderful ballad. This is one that I was inspired to learn by Shirley Horn. This is called Your Blasé, written by a man named Ord Hamilton. I don't know what else he wrote, but this is quite a masterpiece. And kind of another song that I like to sing to myself, sadly. You're deep, just like a chasm. You've no enthusiasm. You're tired. You're uninspired. You're blasé. Your day is one of leisure. In which you search for pleasure. You're bored when you're adored. You're blasé. For the moon and the stars up in the sky, the simple things of normal life are slowly passing by. You sleep, the sun is shining. You awake, it's time for dining. There's nothing new for you to do. You're blasé. reaching for the moon and the stars up in the sky. The simple things of normal life are slowly passing by. You sleep, the sun is shining. You wake, it's time for dining. There's nothing new for you to do. You're blasé.
You're listening to Chicago Jazz Live, small group jazz from the city of Big Shoulders, featuring Chicago's great jazz musicians in a live, intimate setting. I'm your host, Steve Rashid. Tonight's program is coming to you actually live from Studio5 in Evanston, Illinois. We're grateful to our host station, WDCB, Chicago's radio home for jazz, and the means through which our particular programming at Studio5 receives a wider voice on this show, Chicago Jazz Live. So thank you to WDCB and all of you listeners who support them. And by the way, you're also able to watch this show online right now. Details for that can be found at studio5.dance/live. Again, studio5.dance/live. Our online viewers can interact with us, leave comments and questions via a chat room, and they'll have access to a second online-only set by the Petra Van Nuis Quartet once the radio program is over. We're going to respond to audience comments and continue the party. Well, once again, we'd like to thank the folks at Manasseh Rug Company at 1244 Chicago Avenue in Evanston, Illinois, for providing rugs for our Studio 5 stage. We get to perform art on art. Think of that. Manasseh sells fine antique and modern oriental rugs and provides rug cleaning services too. Details for that at manassian.com. Well, vocalist Petra Van Nuis has been a friend of ours for many years, and we're always happy to welcome her back to our stage. In the normal time, Petra regularly tours Europe and is known around Chicago for her celebrated Recession 7 band and her intimate duo with her husband, guitarist Andy Brown. Pianist Dennis Lexian is a highly regarded Chicago and in Chicago and beyond. Dennis was Chet Baker's pianist in the 1980s in Europe, where they toured extensively and made 6 records together. Rounding out the group this evening is the tasty rhythm section of Doug Hayes on the bass and Bob Rummage on the drums. And it's turning out to be quite a delightful evening. Well, if you're a regular listener to this program, you know that each week on Chicago Jazz Live, I spend a little time on stage talking with our artists, and it just so happens that I'm already here. So, so welcome, Petra. I'm really happy that this worked out and that you're here. I know that you and Dennis have performed together as a duo for many, many years. Can you tell us a little bit about how that even got started and why that's an important collaboration for you two? Either of you, actually.
My memory is shady, so I don't know when it got started, but I'll say that it's very important for me because Dennis, first of all, is a magnificent pianist, but then clearly that's goes without saying, but what a beautiful accompanist. And I don't know, for me, he's just perfect because he's sensitive, he has a light touch, and he listens to everything so much, and he reacts to everything, and he creates the mood and the story of the song. I call him a co-storyteller. Yeah. Well,
that's the truth. Dennis, your touch is really just magnificent. It's amazing to me. We've had this piano now for for several years, and it's always interesting to me when because it's always the same piano, but in different people's hands, it really sounds like a different instrument, and it's such you just really have such an incredible touch. It's really a beautiful thing to hear. So thank you for that. One of the things that has been impressive to me about you, Petra, in this whole shutdown thing is the way you and your husband, Andy, have sort of not taken this sitting down. And you've been doing a lot of online streams. And I wanted to give actually anybody in the band an opportunity to talk about anything they're doing outside of this one gig, in case there's anything that other people should be aware of, or websites they should go to, or anything like that. So tell us a little bit about what you've been doing.
Well, that live stream you mentioned is just my husband, Andy Brown, guitarist, and turns out to be technical master. Thanks to you, actually, Steve. Andy spent a lot of hours trying to figure out how to do all this stuff and called Steve many times. I have just a little bit to do with it. I'm more of the assistant, but I think it was just one of those, you have to do something.
Right.
Especially when we started it, we didn't know if the CARES Act or any of that was coming through, so it was like, hey, we need money and we need it now. So it was almost a desperate measure, honestly.
Well, plus it was March and April and nobody was going outside.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
And there was nothing anywhere.
Yeah, and it was also just an excuse to be able to play, because it's not just money, it's like your whole life, your whole soul has been ripped from you. So I think for Andy, he just went right into it. Day one, he just started trying to figure it out, as you recall from all the phone calls.
I sure do. Yeah, no, it was very inspiring. I really.
But I'll let these other guys tell you what they've been up to.
Dennis, what have you been working on? Anything? What have you been playing places?
I have been playing some places, but the first thing that comes to mind is with the shutdown, which happened in the very middle of March. All of a sudden, there were no gigs. So I think probably all of us were pretty busy, and then it went from that to zero. I used to, it was not that long ago, I was teaching at Columbia, and then I stopped doing that, just to focus on playing and collecting my Social Security checks, which thankfully are still coming. But it's kind of an existential question. Okay, who am I? What do I do when there aren't people telling you, you got a gig? So lately that things have changed. So I've been playing a few gigs, but for a while it was a lot of sleeping, a lot of baking.
Good.
We've been enjoying all the wildlife in our backyard. Some crazy stuff shows up there.
Us too. The wildlife in the backyard.
And the thing is, I have a lot more time now to spend in the backyard than I did. So we've been exchanging pictures. Petra's been sending me her kitty pictures, and I've been sending rabbits and hummingbirds and all sorts of other pictures.
Wow.
But for a while, I was wondering what to do, and then I spent a number of quite a bit of time like just saying, oh, hey, I like to write music, so why don't I write music? So
that's great.
Just wrote a ton of tunes, and just looking for opportunities to actually play them. So a little bit later, as part of this, is that there'll be a couple tunes.
Oh, good.
Getting their world premieres.
Good. Well, I can't wait to hear them. Petra, one of the things that occurs to me is that I think that performing to no live audience is a really new skill that everybody's really had to figure out. And I noticed immediately tonight that you already were comfortable doing that because you've done so much of that with your husband. Because I know that's a difficult thing. As soon as you get in front of it's like you're performing, but I'm grateful that we're here, but there's only three of us.
Right.
Except for the
band. This feels like a whole audience. No, at first it was awful. Because when we got into it, before Andy started his own live stream, which is on his YouTube channel, I should say, just look up Andy Brown Jazz Guitar. You'll see all of them. I think we've done 17 thus far. But before that, we had a couple people asked us to do like private parties for them and their family, and it was awful. I remember saying, I hate this. And now I'm so used to it that I feel almost that way about a real gig now. I've kind of gotten used to it, and I kind of like it, strangely.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Hopefully in the future there'll be both.
Yes, exactly. I think there's no reason that this has to go away completely because you can reach an audience that you could never reach live. I suddenly just became aware of time now, and I want to get back to more music. So we'll talk more later, but I do want to just remind everybody, this is Petra Van Nuis on the vocal, Dennis Luxian on the piano, Doug Hayes on the bass, and Bob Rummage on the drums, and I'm going to turn it back over to them for some more music for Chicago Jazz Live.
Thank you, Steve. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. What a difference a day made. 24 little hours brought the sun and those flowers where there used to be rain. My yesterday was blue, dear. Now I'm part of you, dear. My lonely nights are through, dear, since you said you were mine. What a difference a day made. There's a rainbow before me. Skies above can't be starry. Since that moment of bliss, that thrill and kiss, it's heaven when you find romance on your menu. What a difference a day made, and that difference, it is you. What a difference a day made. 24 little hours brought that sun and those flowers where there used to be rain. My yesterday was blue, dear, but now I'm part of you, dear. My lonely nights are through, dear, since you said you were mine. What a difference a day made. There's a rainbow before me. Skies above can't be stormy. Since that moment of bliss, that thrill and kiss, it's heaven when you find romance on your menu. What a difference a day made, and that difference, it is you. Thank you. What a difference a day made. It is. Whenever you have a gig nowadays, it is quite exciting. Thank you. Thank you, Steve. I woke up today with a happy feeling in my heart. We'd like to now feature Dennis. Dennis and I are going to do a duo, a very beautiful song. This is a song that was an Academy Award-winning song from the movie The Thomas Crown Affair. And this song is just, the lyrics are gorgeous. Alan and Marilyn Bergman wrote them, and Michel Legrand wrote the music, and I think it kind of sums up the whole COVID situation in a way, only because, I don't know about all of you, but I feel like I've been in this really long dream. Nothing seems real anymore, and just everything is fragmented and crazy, but I felt that way before COVID, actually, also, but now it's only amplified, and we'd like to do this gorgeous song for you. Round like a circle in a spiral, like a wheel within a wheel, never ending or beginning, on an ever spinning reel, like a snowball down a mountain or a carnival balloon, or a carousel that's turning, running rings around the moon, like a clock whose hands are sweeping past the minutes of its face, and the world is like an apple whirling silently in space. Like the circles that you find in the windmills of your mind, like a tunnel that you follow to a tunnel of its own, down a hollow to a cavern where the sun has never shone, like a door that keeps revolving in a half-forgotten dream, or the ripples from a pebble someone tosses in a stream, like a clock whose hands are sweeping past the minutes of its face, and the world is like an apple whirling silently in space, like the circles that you find in the windmills of your mind, keys that jingle in your pocket, words that jangle in your head. Why did summer go so quickly? Was it something that you said? Lovers walk along the shore and leave their footprints in the sand. Is the sound of distant drumming just the fingers of your hand? Pictures hanging in a hallway, or the fragment of a song, half-remembered names and faces, but to whom do they belong when you knew that it was over in the autumn of goodbyes? For a moment you could not recall the color of his eyes, like a circle in a spiral, like a wheel within a wheel, never ending or beginning, on an ever spinning wheel, as the images unwind, like the circles that you find in the windmills of your mind. It's Dennis Luxon at the piano. See what I mean? Isn't he awesome? At this time, we're going to turn things over to Dennis on the piano, Doug Hayes on the bass, Bob Brummage on the drums. They're going to play one of Dennis's compositions he was telling you about from his works that he's been dealing with during this COVID time, this quarantine. Would you like to tell us about this song, or at least tell us the title, because I can't pronounce it? Dennis Luxon.
As if I can't. This is, just a bossa nova from a suite of tunes that I wrote called M Ispiratu de Simplicidade. What's it mean?
I don't care how you say it. It was good. I liked it. That's Dennis Luxon's composition, and Dennis is a magnificent composer, as you heard. I love all of his things, and it's good to hear some new things, Dennis. I've heard a lot of the old stuff, which I could hear over and over.
Thanks
at
to
this
the
time,
pandemic.
yeah, thanks to the pandemic. See, there's things you can do. There's always things you can do. You got to make use of your time. At this time, I like to feature our bassist, Doug Hayes. Doug is a magnificent bassist, as you will hear. He has a beautiful sound and fantastic ideas, and he always works so hard and learns all the material that you ask him to, and he knows so many tunes without, having to ask him to do anything. He's just really versatile. He's also a classical bassist. But Doug is going to, actually, I had said, let's play My Buddy, and the old Gus Kahn and Walter Donaldson song, and from the 1920s. And then Doug is so hip. He came up with this, well, didn't come up with it, he knew it, the verse. I've never even heard the verse. So here we are, we'll feature Doug on this tune, My Buddy. Nights are long since you went away. I dream about you both night and day. My buddy, my buddy, nobody quite so true. I miss your voice, the touch of your hand. I just long to know that you understand, my buddy, my buddy. Your buddy misses you. Nights are long since you went away. I dream about you both night and day. My buddy, my buddy, nobody quite so true. Well, I miss your voice, the touch of your hand. I just long to know that you understand, my buddy, my buddy. body, your body misses you. Yeah. Doug Hayes. Beautiful. Yeah.
You've been listening to Chicago Jazz Live, this week featuring the Petra Van Nuis Quartet with Petra Van Nuis on the vocal, Dennis Luxian on the piano, Doug Hayes, we just heard there on the bass, and Bob Rumage on the drums. Chicago Jazz Live was created by Steve Rashid, hey, that's me, and is produced in partnership with WDCB, Chicago's radio home for jazz. Tonight's show was mixed by Sam Fishkin, and our video operator is Dan Letchinger. Chicago Jazz Live is distributed through PRX, Public Radio Exchange. Thanks again to the folks at Manassian Rug Company at 1244 Chicago Avenue in Evanston for providing rugs for our Studio 5 stage. Manassian sells fine antique and modern oriental rugs and provides rug cleaning services too. Details at manassian.com. Also, our beautiful pianos, thanks to the kind generosity of our friends Dan and Christy Robinson, so thanks and a shout-out to Dan and Christy. The radio program is nearly over, but the party is not. Our online viewers can stick around for a second online-only set by the Petra Van Nuis Quartet. Details for that can be found at studio5.dance/live. Again, studio5.dance/live. Viewers can interact with us and leave comments and questions via a chat room. So please, be careful, stay safe, be well. Thanks to our artists, and thanks very much for listening.
Thank you, Steve. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I like New York in June. How about you? I like a Gershwin tune. How about you? Fireside when a storm is due. I like potato chips, moonlight and motor trips. How about you? I'm mad about good books and I can't get my fill. And Frank Sinatra's looks, well, they give me a thrill. Holding hands in a movie show when all the lights are low. May not be new, but I like it, yes. I like New York in June. How about you? I like a Gershwin tune. How about you? I love a fireside when a storm is due. I like potato chips, moonlight and motor trips. How about you? I'm mad about good books and I can't get my fill. And Tony Bennett's looks give me a thrill. Holding hands in the movie show when all the lights are low. May not be new,
Broadcasting
like
from the campus of College of DuPage, this is Chicago's home for jazz. 90.9 FM WDCB, Glen Ellen, Chicago, and 90.7 FM WRTE, Chicago West Loop.